Big Boss Filmworks, Miyan interview, take 2.
What's up, fam? It's your man, CRB Jr., Courtney Robert Brown Jr. Happy to be with you here at Big Boss Filmworks, proud sponsor of Motown Mafia Podcast and In the Black Podcast. We are excited and happy to have with us locally known and about to be world famous, Miss Lovely Miyan. How are you today, honey?
I am just amazing. So happy to be here with you all. So happy. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, we're just happy to have you here. We share a mutual friend and business associate. Shout out to Mr. Eddie Folks.
Mr. Eddie Folks, what's up from Detroit? What's up? What's up?
Godfather of techno and all of that.
Yes.
Eddie just did some work with us. He's going to be featured in our upcoming documentary, Beyond Street Dreams. You know, me and Eddie go back 40 years now.
Wow.
Showing our age. Yeah.
40 years?
40
you don't
years
look your
long.
age. Come on.
Well, thank you. You know just what to say. But tell the world a little bit about you. I mean, you got so much going on. First, I know you have a passion for helping some people in the handicap or underserved community.
I would like to say underserved communities.
Tell us a little bit about what you do in the underserved community.
Well, what I do is I sign. I like to say sign. So I'm not an interpreter, but I sign, sing, I dance, and DJ. All at once, all together. So that's what I do.
And what you were just doing, if I understood sign, I would have understood what you just said.
You could. Well, there are many varieties, many different ways to sign. You have signed English. You have Pidgin. Okay. You have ASL. You have many modalities, if you will. That's what make sign language so eclectic.
Wow.
Because depending where you live, or there's different methods. There's different. I find that ASL is used all over the world.
Now, when you help the people, that's an acronym. ASL means?
American Sign Language.
Okay.
It is used all over the world. And even though different countries have different sign languages, but ASL is used a lot, much. Why? Because you have influences from the French area of the country and American Sign Language. So those two come together. And when those two come together, it influences the whole world. So you have Africans that's using ASL because guess what? When you have, what do you call it when you have people, religious people who go and try to convert people? It's a name for that.
Missionaries.
Missionaries. So missionaries or people, that go into these other countries, they bring their language, they bring their religions, they bring all these things and they teach, the masses, right? So ASL is somewhere entwined in there. So that's why I can almost guarantee that everybody across the world can understand what ASL, American Sign Language, is. Because it's intertwined in the culture all over the world, all countries.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes, it is.
And you are a native Detroiter, as we call it?
Me, I am a Detroiter, born, reared, and raised right here in Detroit.
And you were telling us when we were off camera that your family, some family members were involved in Motown.
Oh,
when
yeah.
When Motown was becoming known as Motown.
The music industry would not be what it is without Motown music, especially for people of color, black and brown people.
Yes.
Motown music is like Chess Records in Chicago. I mean, they're two opposites, but Motown really paved the way for all labels, major labels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They had all types of artists, varieties of music. So they were the catalyst for what the music industry is today, if you will. I'm saying it. If nobody else is saying it, I'm saying it. So my dad played bass for Motown. He started with Little Stevie Wonder when he was 19 years old.
Wow.
And my mom was a Motown review dancer, and she was 17. And so, he toured with Little Stevie Wonder until James Jamerson, the famous bass player, taught my dad, my father, how to play the bass. And my dad never put it down. He can play both, but he prefers the bass. And so he went on to play with Junior Walker and the All-Stars, Temptations. Also, I can't even name all the people he's played with. But I watched my dad as a little girl, and I said, I want to be just like that and more. I would just watch my mom and dad, and I was the quiet one. And they thought my sister Monique, because she was a dancer by nature, they thought she was going to be the singer, the dancer, and this and that and the other. We're several months apart. But God had a different plan.
Well, wow. So you got it honest. Your comfortability and your skills at singing
Yeah.
and dancing, you truly got it honest.
Now, I did get it honestly, but I wasn't nurtured for those
Really?
abilities. No. My sister was nurtured for the dancing and the entertainment. Nobody even thought that. They probably knew because of my light.
Right.
You know, when you have a light and a calling on your life, sometimes people know that.
Yeah.
They can see it. And so therefore, I wasn't nurtured for those things. But I kept it inside of me. It never left, you know? So it's not a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise to my parents. They should know. My siblings should know.
Well, we're going to talk about the light and planning and all of that when we sit down at the pod. But where can people reach you at on social media?
Well, I have a Facebook. My handle is at Miyan, M-I-Y-A-N, Bryant, B-R-Y-A-N-T. You can go to my YouTube, Miyan, M-I-Y-A-N 108. That is my YouTube. My IG is, what is my IG? That's a good question. My IG is official Dr. B, DJ Dr. B. So official and DJ Dr. B.
What kind of stuff do you DJ?
I love all music. I can't give you everything. I mean, some things you have to keep on a quiet basis. 'Cause there's so many talents and gifts that God has given me, and some things that needs to be quiet. So, what was the question again?
What kind of music?
I do. I DJ all music, to be honest.
Okay.
I love techno and house. That is my forte. But I have some surprises that's going to surprise some people. I'm going to step outside my box. I don't think nobody's ever did what I'm about to do. So I have to keep that under lock and key.
All right, well, just keep us abreast.
Yes.
We'll put all that in the descriptions so people will see you again. We're going to sit down here at the table and chop up some of these things we were talking about visualization and all. But so glad and happy. And you guys make sure you follow Miyan on our social media handles. We'll also have it in the descriptions. Thank you much, darling.
Thank you.
All right.
Y'all out of control. I love it up in here. Woo! Yeah.
Motown Mafia, Meon. Take one.
What's happening, family? It is your man, CRB Jr. here at Big Boss Filmworks. Of course, the proud sponsors of Motown Mafia podcast and the In the Black TV podcast. And we are excited. We have a special person in our presence today, Miss Miyan. How are you?
Miyan. Think of Miyan.
Miyan with an M.
Yes. Like neon lights, Miyan.
And you are glowing.
Thank you so much. I'm glowing because I'm around special people like you guys.
We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you are you're an artist. You do music. You do helping the underserved community, which some of the stuff they'll be able to see that we just did for our social media platforms. You also are pursuing some academic.
My doctorate. I'm an educator.
You're an educator. You are what they would call a Renaissance woman.
I don't know about all that. But I just do what I'm called to do.
Okay, so that's where we want to go with this. Now, when you came in, we were talking about, we were just talking about money and business and things. And the term you're like, well, not if I become a billionaire, but when I become a billionaire. So immediately I thought to myself, well, oh, this woman's thinking correctly. Because I don't know anybody who's ever achieved anything that didn't already visualize it.
And feel it and know it and taste it and all that.
Right? There's a great book by Dr. Dennis Kimbro called Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, I've got the book and read it.
So did you read the Napoleon Hill one or the Kimbro one?
The Kimbro.
All right, so Kimbro took Napoleon Hill's great works, and for those, just to give you some backdrop, because it says In the Black TV, talking about keeping your businesses in the black. Guy named Andrew Carnegie, who had Carnegie Steel, right? You know the backstory. At the time of his life, right after the Civil War, one of the richest man in the world, supposedly. He hired this guy, Napoleon Hill, to interview all kind of successful people from all kind of backgrounds to see what they had in common.
Right.
So that led to the best-selling book, Think and Grow Rich. Then Dr. Dennis Kimbro, who looked like us, took that same Napoleon concept and did Think and Grow Rich, a black choice.
Now that one I haven't read.
Okay, so you got to read that one.
Okay.
So Napoleon Hill interviewed mostly white folks or people, non-melanated people, right?
That's right.
Well, Kimbro did the exact same thing as Napoleon. He gives, obviously, Napoleon
Right, but he
Hill
did
credit.
it from another perspective.
Only it's 60 different stories of African Americans who have achieved great things, right?
I gotta get that.
With the same point to try to see. So the one thing that they all had in common, whether it was Oprah, whether it was Walter Payton playing football,
Bring it, come on, tell me.
whether it was Whitney Houston singing, whether it was Ron Brown in politics or Coleman Young or Maynard Jackson becoming the mayor of Atlanta. What all of them had in common is only one thing. They all had visualized where they were going when they had nothing.
Vision. What's the saying? Without vision.
My people perish for lack of vision.
But it doesn't mean that, it just means like you were telling me, you have to be in tune. We all get them. We all get them. But what was the words that you said, that you told me earlier? You got to be in tune.
You got to be in tune to
receive and accept the
as
calling.
the kids call it now, the energy. You got to be able to feel that energy.
Or download.
Or on the right vibration. Right?
That's right.
And that's why it's important to take time to sometimes quiet your mind. Especially in
meditation.
Meditation is real important. That book there, right? So that Getting Off Zero, Mind Right, Money Right, the starting points of one. That was like the second book we did, right?
So you've done more than one, more than.
Right. First book was Motown Mafia, Memoirs of a Kingpin's Kid.
Yes.
Second book was Getting Off
Zero,
starting points of one's goals.
I love it.
Aspirations and dreams.
Yes.
And then the latest release was we had to fictionalize my college career because...
And you went to college.
I went to all the colleges because I was a busy young man.
I love it.
I was a very busy young man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It took me 3 years to become a junior in college, and it took me 20 years to finish my senior year.
It don't matter.
I got very busy.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. But it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So, and allowed me to go to a lot of different schools,
So
which made me really smart.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Because I got a bachelor's degree with like 200 credit hours. I have enough credit hours to almost be a doctor.
Ooh, right. Look, it took me. Look, you know how long? I'll tell it. It's my 11th year in my doctorate.
But I mean, that's big girl stuff. A doctorate degree. I mean, that's.
Most people get kicked out after 4 years. I was sick. It allowed me to be able to get that extra push and, to be able to submit that I was sick and I was able to get 4 more years. And a lot of people don't do that.
Wow.
That's a blessing.
That is a blessing.
It's a blessing.
So we write that book in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chapter, I believe it's chapter 6. It's
Okay.
Mind Right, Money Right, Getting
Okay.
Off Zero.
I must buy that one. I'm going to buy it today before I leave.
Yes.
No, I'm going to buy one book from you.
Okay. See, that's what it's about, family. It's supporting.
Yes.
Supporting
Come
the
on
team,
now. Come on now.
Right? So we write this in 2014, and there's a chapter in it about going where the gold is. Because I had went to Africa in 01. And I spent like a month over there, actually.
Yeah.
Right? But so that's 01, 13 years passed. Now we're writing this book. I hook up with a guy who's got a company in Atlanta called Getting Off Zero.
Okay.
And we decided to collaborate and do something. I'm getting to the visualization part and the
yeah.
power of an idea.
Yes.
So we write, it's a chapter in here called Go Where the Gold Is, talking about
Okay.
going to Africa, doing business, right?
Wow.
And that we should go and reconnect with our cousins in the motherland. That's 2014.
Wow.
In 2015, my mentor says, hey, who happened to play football at the University of Michigan back in the day, and he's at a funeral for one of his teammates. He runs into another teammate. He says, I ran into my guy, and I asked him how his daughter was doing, and he said that she's in Angola in Southwest Africa, and she married this big-time African banker, and that this big-time African banker, who is my mentor's man's son-in-law, is looking for African-American businessmen to do business with. So, and I wrote a year ago a book about we should go to Africa to look for business opportunities.
Right.
Long story short, they put us in touch with each other via the phone.
Yeah.
This guy's name, shout out to Miguel. He's like on the Federal Reserve of Angola.
Wow, he's big. He's a big shot.
Big shot, right? We talked for a minute, and then it got to the point it was like, well, you know what? We can spend forever talking and sending each other emails, or I can just get on a plane and we can come see really what it is. 2 weeks after we talked on the phone for the first time, I'm in Angola staying at his estate, and I was there to do some consulting on. He was thinking about setting up his family in the hair beauty product thing.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there. He's having his maid prepare us dinner.
The maid. Oh my
maid,
goodness.
Yeah.
He's got some bread.
Oh, he got yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
He's got that bread.
Yeah.
That moolah.
Yes. The mini Angola dollar.
Yes.
So he hands me a cup of coffee. He says, "Do you drink coffee?" I said, "Oh, of course, I love coffee," which is true.
Yeah.
And his maid gives me a cup of coffee. He sees me sip it. Now, I don't know. His brain's already working because I don't know that he owns a coffee plantation.
Wow. Oh my God.
So he asked me, he said, how's that coffee? I said, actually, it's very good.
Yeah.
He says, it's good as the coffee in America. I said, to be honest,
It's better.
It's better than it was. And I was just being
It
honest.
always is that way.
Right?
Most of the time.
Right?
Yeah.
And he says, that's my coffee. And I'm like, what do you mean that's your coffee? He says, I got a coffee plantation, and I actually distribute coffee here in Angola and in South Africa called Cafe Kazingo.
I like that.
And we thought, God, wasn't thinking no more of it. I go back to America. There was going to be all kind of problems with buying the hair in China. And then we get it to Africa, so we got to use U.S. dollars to buy the Chinese hair, and then we sell it.
You said the Chinese hair.
It is.
I know, right? I know. It's just how you said it.
It is, though. I mean, I've been in the hair business also. I've imported hair from China.
So they actually cut their hair off.
If you're getting real Chinese woman's hair, you're doing well.
Okay.
And that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay,
because
we'll leave it at that.
we, I can say this much. We litigated against the hair associations, all the people who own these beauty supply shops.
Wow.
We end up winning. We settled.
Good.
Settled. Not really, but we settled.
Okay.
But to show you how big these people, you think these beauty supplies are, I'll get back to it. Our lawyers, and we had like the top silk stocking law firm here in Detroit.
Wow.
The good people out there
Yeah.
at Summer Swartz.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I heard.
But they were represented by Jim Baker, the former the Hair Association's law firm was out of Texas. Former Secretary of State Jim Baker. These people got so much money. Anyway, they would have they would have kept us in court forever.
Ever, yeah.
And so finally, our lawyer's like, yes, you just take the small win. You're not gonna get the big W you wanted, but move on with your life because
Right.
it's a big, Anyway, so because of that, buying the hair with U.S. dollars in China,
Yeah.
selling it in Angola for Angola kwanzas, their currency goes up and down. So one day the money could be worth this, next
And
day
then it goes up and down.
goes up and down. So we can't. It doesn't work. But me and my guy Miguel, we stay in touch. 6 months later, he calls me up. He says, "Hey, Courtney, why don't we go in the coffee business together?" I said, "Well, Miguel, it's only two good reasons for us not to go in the coffee business together."
Right.
Now again, a year ago, I just wrote this book with a chapter talking about go where the gold is, right?
Ooh,
that there are opportunities.
Hits.
I
Go where the
didn't
gold is.
Go where the gold is, right? I said, well, there's only two good reasons for us not to go in the coffee business. One, I don't know anything about the coffee business. I drink coffee. And two, I don't know anybody in the coffee business. And his response was, well, you're a businessman, right? And you do know a lot of people. I said, I guess I am a reasonably competent business person. Keyword, reasonably competent.
Right, correct.
And I know a lot of people who do know a lot of people.
And you know a lot of coffee drinkers, I'm sure.
And
That part.
that part, 400. This part I did already know. 400 million cups of coffee drank every day.
Look, you know the whole history, don't you now?
Well, I became a real.
Yeah.
So his response to him was, okay, well, since that's the case, and you're a relatively competent businessman, and you know some people who know some people. By the way, there's 40,000 pounds of coffee headed your way. I got a couple dollars. You got a couple dollars. Let's figure it out. We ended up being the first people to bring Angolan coffee to America since Angola
Wow,
got it.
this history.
It was.
This is history.
Oh, we did speeches at the World Bank
Yes.
and all of that. But it's back to we had visualized.
There you go. When hits. What's the word?
We
Visualize.
had visualized and put it out there
See it.
in the universe, and we were open to the vibration.
Say it again.
Go ahead.
You're open to.
The vibration that this was not just coincidences, because we were just speaking about, how is it that people say that they believe in an omnipotent spirit that's all-knowing,
All seeing.
all-seeing, all right, omnipotent, which means all-powerful,
Yes.
omnipresent, which means he knows the past, the present, and the future.
That's right.
Well, then how can there be a coincidence? It can't be a coincidence that my mentor has a conversation with his buddy about his daughter who's now married to this African, and that I had just wrote a chapter. When I wrote the chapter about going to Africa doing business, I had no intentions of doing business in Africa.
No, you didn't.
And as that has played out, I probably, since being open to the vibration, I've probably been to Africa 20 times since. Involved with a whole bunch of people over there in different parts of the continent. So again, back to you though. When you said when you had already visualized yourself as being a billionaire, and I was like,
I heard it.
Right.
I heard the voice.
Tell us about what you heard.
I was, probably my mid-20s at that particular time. No, I was about 24. And I was walking with my late friend, Tony Jones, rest in peace, my love, and my best friend. He was a singer too.
Okay.
And we were walking up towards Fairlane Mall. And as I was walking up to the mall. You know what? I got two different versions. I got one.
You gave us a little bit off camera of the Oprah version.
I got that one, and I'm thinking about me when I'm signing. But you want the one about the Oprah?
Give me the Oprah one first.
The Oprah ones, I had a dream. And my trunk of my car opened up, and I heard this loud voice say, "Miyan!" It was an Oprah Winfrey's voice. At that time, she was becoming the it woman. You know what I'm saying?
She was that girl.
And she was on her way to be a billionaire. If not, she was a billionaire then. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
She was on her way to that. And I knew, because where God was taking me, I knew there's something greater than myself. It was greater than me. And I knew that that was for me to take heed and to keep staying on my path. God was telling me, stay on your path, because I have a big mission for you. You're going to be as big as Oprah. Not meaning I'm going to do what she do, but meaning what I took it as financially well endowed to help people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm helping those who are underserved.
So that goes back to the second kind of visualization was something doing with the signing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that you kind of were doing some signing and didn't really know you were doing it. Then you saw it and you were like, hey, that's what I was just doing. So unpack that for us.
Whew. First, let me take you back.
Okay.
In high school. In high school, I was in all the communication programs like acting, art, dance, blah, 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 blah. I forgot that I played Helen Keller from The Miracle Worker. Wow. I was the understudy. I didn't get the part to play Helen Keller. I was upset about that. I became the understudy. But it was oblivious. It left my mind. So
And just FYI, guys who don't know, Helen Keller is probably the most famous blind, deaf, dumb,
yes,
blind,
and
deaf,
educated person.
Yes, but continue.
Okay. So I didn't think about that as the vision would happen, right? So I'm walking towards, like I was telling you, walking with my best friend, Tony Jones, rest in peace. And I had this vision. I wasn't even thinking about nothing. I'm just walking, and I visualized myself standing there, and I was doing something with my hands. There was a band behind me, you know? And I'm like, oh my God. I said, Tony, I said, you're going to think I'm crazy, but don't. I said, I just seen me doing something with my hands. I don't know what it is. It didn't even dawn on me. It was sign language. It didn't dawn on me because I never got a chance to play Helen Keller. Remember,
Right,
I
you didn't get the role.
practiced it, but I didn't get the role, so I wasn't all in like that. You feel me? So I attended Marvin L. Winans, Pastor Marvin L. Winans. That was my church. I was a member of Marvin L.
Shout out to the Winan family.
On the east side, though. But I just visited this church that day on Greenfield and Schoolcraft, and I was sitting, and I seen somebody doing something with their hands. I said, that's what I was doing. It just made sense. It made sense. And from that point on, I just jumped head first in and never stopped.
And on that, again, it's that visualization again. So it's real, guys. You gotta think
see it.
You gotta see it.
Understand in your heart.
If you guys are out there for real, I put it on a must read, that Napoleon Hill, or rather Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, or the Napoleon Hill.
I have the Napoleon Hill. That's the one. It's a white. It's
right.
Black letters. That's
black
the one
letter,
that I have.
yeah.
And I'm gonna get the one that you're talking about.
Do that. Check this out and
check this out.
Yes.
Motown Mafia, y'all.
But speaking of your signing ability, is it too early to talk about what your possibility of a documentary concept you have? Or do you want to wait on that?
Yeah, we're going to wait on that.
Okay, we can't.
Because it's still, some things, like I explained, things until it's time, sometimes people will steal your ideas. People will go and try to do what you do. But please remember, what God gave you is for you. If you visualized it, and same for me, the same for you, then it's for you. It's for no one else. And that's the way that I think. Whatever God has given me is only for me. Can't nobody do what God gave me.
I believe that.
That's just true talk. You can try.
But
it's not going to work.
What's for you is what's for you.
Say it again. What's for me and what's for you is for you and me. Yeah. And what's for you is for you and you.
And that's why people, even though it's against human nature, people shouldn't get upset when people do well or get things.
Absolutely.
Because the time that's above our pay grade when things happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But we live in a time of instant gratification. And nobody says the truth, like nothing worthwhile comes quick.
Say what?
Yeah, it's some of that. They said, that part that you get out of things what you put into things.
Always.
That part, winners never quit and quitters never win.
It's true talk.
These are true life lessons.
And if you can't fall down and get up, then it's not for you. Because in life, no matter what whatever God has called you to do, sometimes we can get ahead and God will stop it. So sometimes God allow you to fall, not really fall. You thinking that way, but really it's stopping you from getting ahead of yourself. God said, you're not mature yet. You're not mature. I'm still working on you. So things that happen it seems like it's derailing you, but it's really setting you
It's
up for
preparing
success.
all the time.
Come on
And
now.
we'll talk about that again.
Yes.
There's so many things now. I'll be
I like
like,
you. I
I
like
like
you.
you. I'm so glad to have you sit in that.
Yes.
I can now honestly like say it. Things that at the time I thought I was ready or prepared or knowledgeable enough to do. But now I'm like, oh no, I wasn't. And God protected me. Or let me quote unquote fail, but it wasn't failing.
That's what I'm
It
talking
was
about.
a learning experience. So that next time that situation occurs, I will know how to handle it.
Come on now.
I know how to handle it correctly.
Come on now. You're
Right?
talking my language.
Yeah, because you have to not do a good job pitching the idea to see where it went wrong, to be able to next time you have a idea worth pitching, to know how to go about it, right?
And sometimes you're not developed all the way.
You're not right. You're not
I
ready
had
for the
to get
blessing.
education.
Yeah.
God said, I don't want you to just do this. I didn't know. I'm thinking, oh, that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to sign. But you can't just sign if you don't know what the heck you're doing. I had to go to school. I had to know that I know that I know. So therefore, I'm credible. People believe in you when you're credible sometimes. And then God will give you, even if you ain't went to school, God will give you the PhD.
Well, you gotta.
Sometimes God will say, I don't care, a piece of paper is just a piece of paper. I'm going to still give it to you. So it depends. It depends.
Yes.
It really does depend. But for me, dealing with the culture of American Sign Language, you know, all eyes are like this. They were waiting to say, oh, she don't know what she's doing. And I wasn't always sure of myself. But that's why the education piece come in. And that's when my teaching come in. It taught me to know that I know that I know and to trust myself. Okay? And so here I am.
Yes, and I just 100%, everything that I thought was a setback. Now I look back and be like,
Set up. It was
it was a
set
setup.
up for you.
You gotta, because you gotta learn.
Say it again. That's my word. Say it again.
You know, you learn so much more from losing than you do from winning. You know, in my years in retail, I pick out an outfit, they sell out. I don't really know. I'm not asking no questions. I'm just happy we bought 1,000 denim jackets. They all sold. But if I buy 1,000 denim jackets and they don't sell,
Then what?
I start asking questions. Well, what was it about that? Was it the sizing? Was it the color? Did I buy it too late in the season? Did I buy it too early in the season? Did I not put them on sale soon enough? Was I charging too much? I learned. I'll never make that mistake again, and it'll make me that much better. Well, that's with everything. When I cringe, we started doing this stuff. Me and Lou. Shout out to Big Lou. How you doing,
Big
brother?
Lou!
Lou, I know
What's
he's
up, Big
Lou.
Lou?
Lou ain't went nowhere.
Over here, man in the cannons.
Yeah,
You're doing
yeah.
amazing
When
job,
me and
Big
Lou first started some of the stuff, I look back now, I cringe.
Wow.
I'll be like, oh, Courtney, what were you guys doing? What were you doing, dude?
Ooh, learn it.
That's what I was doing.
And a big shout out to everybody stuck with us from the first days, from the day.
Yeah. I mean, that's what.
Isn't that amazing?
But that's what I was doing.
You was learning.
I was learning. I didn't know. I knew people told me I could talk, but that's different than learning to do this.
Yes.
And so now I look back, yeah. So again, it's just great. I am so happy we had a chance to hook up. Shout out again to Eddie Folks, the godfather of techno music,
Eddie
for
Folks.
putting us together.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
To my Eddie folks, I've known you for a long time. We have history. Look, I thank you. I love you. I wish nothing but the best for you. You the godfather of techno. You was there when it first started. So we're going to give you high
Well, give him his
love.
roses
All them
now.
roses are coming.
Yeah, your flowers is already here. They know who you are. That part.
That part. It's your man, CRB Jr. Miyan. That's it, right?
Meon.
Miyan.
It's okay. You know what? I'm so accustomed I know I have a unique name.
You do, because you're a unique individual.
Yeah, and I don't get
Unique.
upset about it. If you call me Miyan, Miyan, Mimi, just don't call me late for dinner.
I know that's right.
I love to eat.
Thank you for being here in the Black TV, a Big Boss Filmworks production. Holler at us. Check us also out on our other station at Motown Mafia Podcast. We're on patreon.com, right?
Yeah.
And don't forget to get these books.
Motown Mafia, Memoirs of a Kingpin's Kid.
And Getting
No
Off
Zero.
Zero, y'all. Must-haves.
Oh, yeah.
Must-haves.
And before we're out of here, give them your social media handles again.
Yes, you can find my handles at Facebook at Miyan, Miyan, Bryant, and my IG at official DJ Dr. B, or YouTube Miyan, Miyan 108.
And the book turned into a award-winning documentary
now.
at Amazon.
I'm buying this today.
On Amazon Prime and Tubi TV. That's Motown Mafia.
Support
Story of
your
Eddie
own.
Jackson and Courtney Brown. Yes, support your own. We appreciate you guys' success. We want your businesses to get in the black. We want Black Friday to be every day for our family.
All day, every
day. Love you. Great. They will be seeing you again.
Mwah. Thank you so much.
It's your man. We're out. Peace.
Man, let me tell you something.
From the makers of Motown Mafia, beyond the headlines, beyond the crime, beyond the glamours and gold, they don't run around the streets. They run the streets. Beyond Street Dreams. Coming soon.